let's go to the dark side from this, from timcast.com. Tucker Carlson says America is speeding toward assassination of Donald Trump. That's a scary prospect. He said they protested him. They called him names. He won anyway. They impeached him twice on ridiculous pretenses. They fabricated a lot about what happened on January 6th in order to impeach him again. It didn't work. He came back. Then they indicted him. It didn't work. He became more popular. Then they indicted him 3 more times. And every single time his popularity rose. So if you begin with criticism, then you go to a protest, then you go to impeachment, then you go to indictment. None of them work. What's next? I mean, graph it out, man. We're speeding toward assassination, obviously. And no one will say that. But I don't know how you can't reach that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like they have decided, permanent Washington, both parties have decided that there's something about Trump that's so threatening to them, they just can't have him. He later commented, I don't know where it's going, but there's a collusion that's clearly imminent. I've never been this worried about anything as I am about where this is going. If people don't get serious about their comfort zones, I think they're going to demonize him, indict him. And I think they'll blow his airplane up, Jones said. This is Alex Jones. I really, at a gut level, believe they're going to kill Trump. There was a story in, I think it was 2015, a guy tried grabbing a gun from a cop at a Trump rally. There's already been threats made against Donald Trump. And I guess we can only hope and pray it doesn't come to that. But Tucker makes a really interesting point. Now, I will counter. He's not gotten more popular every time they've indicted him. Because I track the favorability and popularity of Trump. It is stable. Stable is potentially as bad or worse. Stable means that there are people who don't care what the government does or says. They will never abandon Trump. That's it. It also says there are people that no matter what will never support Trump.
Right.
If Trump got more or less popular because of the indictments, that would mean something. Becoming less popular means there are people who supported him but now are backing away. If he becomes more popular, it means that people who didn't support him are starting to support him. No, it hasn't changed because it's locked in right now. The left and the right, whatever you want to call it, the political factions are stable. And that means all of the things they're doing are just radicalizing people and making the flames bigger and more dangerous.
Which I kind of assume is what they want, right?
I don't know. I mean, it's, man, there's a lot of scenarios in my mind. But if Tucker is correct, I don't see how this country survives another year, 2 years, year and a half.
I don't think Tucker's correct. I forget who we had on the show, but he said you can't, in 2023, you can't do what you did in the 60s, right? You can't give somebody the Kennedy treatment. I think they've already done it to Trump. And we've seen it. It's the indictments. It's the mainstream media with all the pieces throughout his presidency. It's all of that. That they've already taken him down, or at least attempted to.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Trump is predicted to win right now. So CNN reported this, not my opinion, calm down, crackpots. CNN said right now, based on all the data they got, it's looking really good for Trump. Now you take into consideration that the student loan debt about to kick back on in the next couple of weeks. Think about this. So I was talking to my girlfriend about this earlier. I said, I was passively talking about it, and then she was like, wait, everyone's got to pay back their student loans again starting in a couple of weeks. And I'm like, yeah, something like that. And then she was like, they're not going to have the money. And I'm like, right, exactly. And then I said, and the question then becomes, how do they pay for their student loans? If right now we got all these videos of young people saying, I can't afford my bills, how are they going to pay back their student loans if student loan repayment restarts? They're not. And then I'm like, so it's kind of like 2008. They gave out loans to people who didn't have credit and couldn't afford it. And then my girlfriend was like, well, they got their parents to co-sign. She's like, a lot of these people got their parents to co-sign. And I was like, interesting.
Yep. Then
when these 28-year-olds don't pay back their loans, and then the lenders say, your mom or dad is a co-signer and goes to them and says, you got to pay. And they go, we can't afford to pay. And they go, then we take your house.
Mm-hmm.